Talk about starting off with a bang. Today we are going to talk about, if not the one of the most powerful things you can do if you are looking to make a life change. Now, from all of my years of studying success and coaching students of my own, I can promise you this. And if you neglect this, you run the risk of living your life in the Matrix.
The Creator Podcast.
My name is Dion Williams, aka Dion Does, and I truly believe that we were all created in the image of the ultimate creator, and therefore it's in us all to create. And this show aims to help you and I both level up in this four-dimensional game of life so that we can go out and create for good, whether that's for ourselves, our family, the community around us, but all of this a part of a generational vision of a family of creators coming together to be the difference. Oh man, they done messed up and gave your boy a podcast. Who do we blame for this? Who do we need to write a letter to? Because this never should have happened. I got my own podcast, mama. We gonna have fun, man. If this course, this is your first time listening to my podcast, because this is the first episode. But if this is your first time stumbling across me or my content, congratulations. You just stumbled across what is quite possibly the most not professional podcast on all platforms of podcasting. If there's an award for that, y'all got to let me know so I can sign up, because this is probably what this is going to be. It's going to be a lot of fun. One of the most fun, one of the most informative, one of the most impactful podcasts. I truly believe that. But god dang, is it going to be one of the most unprofessional. Unless I say something horrible that I'm worried is going to put me on an FBI manhunt list, I'm not editing these. I'm going to hop up. I'm going to be one take Willie, and we're going to have fun. I'm going to have one principle or one thought, and I'm going to just go in on that. All right? Again, part of my style, if you're brand new, I can be a little bit ranty. I'm going to always do my best to get to the point, but I love telling stories. I love coming back and just really trying to cement that into your mind so that you actually leave and have actionable steps. And we'll get to the taking action part towards the end, but we're also going to be very big on that. Okay. Now, this is my first episode, so I'm going to lay a lot of groundwork here. We'll lay a little bit of vision, let you guys know what to expect. So this episode may go a little bit longer than I'd like, but typically anywhere between 5 to 20 minutes. I don't want these to be too long. I want us to get in, get out, get the principle, and then make sure that we're implementing it. And most of these will be just me as we grow, and not even as we grow, just even now. I got so many cool people that I'm learning from, so many mentors, so many amazing people that I already know I can reach out to. I'll reach out to them, and we'll have conversations, maybe once a week. We'll see. We're going to flow with it. And that's part of it, too. We're definitely going to evolve over the days and weeks and months and hopefully years that we're doing this. And so I'm going to always be sensitive to your guys' feedback, your guys' input, what you guys are liking, and we'll move accordingly. Okay. So again, very, very grateful for you guys being here today. I want to talk about identity. Oh my Lord, is this important? This is powerful. And I hope you guys catch this. We're going to be talking about identity, but I kind of want to quickly gloss over a couple other things just to help you guys better understand my perspective that I'm going to be coming from on a lot of these, and even set a framework that I'll be going in and out through all of these episodes. So I want to be able to tell someone, maybe when they're on episode 848, someone needs to put a pin in that too, because if we get to episode 848, we got to come back and shout out the first episode. But I want to be able to refer them back to the first episode to know that they're getting that framework on some things that I probably mention a lot, and I may mention them in passing. So, number one, you kind of heard it in the intro, but I want you guys to know like my overall paradigm of looking at life. And this is like zooming out big picture. I believe that we were all created in the image of the ultimate creator, which would be God. And therefore it's in us all to be creative and create. That could be creating a life for ourselves, again, not selfishly. And because and a part of this, in our ability to create, that creates opportunity of collaboration, because I believe we all can have this identity of a creator, and mine can be a little bit unique to yours, And so that I may specialize in one area, right? Let's just say in business, who knows? I may specialize in a certain area, which allows me to be powerful and to have authority within my domain of expertise. But because I've dedicated so much time and energy in that area and I've built that authority, I've neglected some other areas and I'm not as powerful there. But that may be yours. And the beauty of that is that allows opportunity for us to collaborate. And so this identity of a creator is something I'm going to be talking about a lot. And by the end of this podcast, my goal is for you to believe that adopting the identity of a creator is not only important, it's vital, and that your life depends upon it. I mean that. And so that is always the angle I'm coming from on something, is that identity of a creator. And then we'll explain what that really is. But I think that's groundwork stuff that you need to know from me. I also like to look at life as a game, not in the sense that I don't take it serious or I think it's trivial. I think that it's very important. And I think you can look at something as a game, but also take it really serious. Look at a lot of the professional athletes out there that dedicate their lives to games. Talk to any gamer like myself that might take games maybe a little too serious, right? So you can take something serious and still consider it a game. Just maybe all of my years of being a gamer just helps me to look at it that way, right? Because when you have a game, you have direction. I know that I'm playing a certain game a certain kind of way, and a different game might play completely different. And you can see a lot of how a person acts and moves and makes decision based off of the game that they're playing, whether they know it or not. And we're going to get into that a little bit more as we talk about identity and how important identity is and how it's the beginning to purpose. And so many people are trying to skip to purpose, but they haven't circled around and answered some questions in the area of identity. And so you guys will see a lot of video game references from me, whether it's talking about powering up, powering down, leveling up, stages, bosses, targets. Okay, so you guys will hear a lot of stuff like that, and I'll usually try to explain it if I feel like there could be any confusion. And then probably lastly is, again, a system that I use a lot. It's called my free system. So you guys will hear me say things like 4-dimensional living or living a 4D lifestyle or the 4 phases of life. And anytime I say that, I'm referring to this free system, and it's an acronym. The F stands for faith, and that's just living for anything that's bigger than yourself. For me as a Christian, right, that's putting my faith in Jesus and God. Relationships, which is the R in free, and that's just for your relationship with yourself and others. Then you have the first E, which is your energy, and that is your health and fitness. And then you have the last E, which is economics, which we all know that's your money, okay? And I truly believe that living a 4-dimensional life is possible. And and when I say 4-dimensional life, that doesn't mean that you're perfect, that you have no issues. There's never any worry or turmoil or chaos that breaks out in those different areas. Living a 4-dimensional lifestyle is all about being intentional, about creating for good in each one of those areas of your life. And we see this a lot, or we see the power of this a lot, because we all know a lot of people that are 1-dimensional. They are amazing in one area, but that's all they got, right? Their marriage is amazing, but oh my Lord, they can't spell God. They got no money, and their health is crazy. Or we know the businessman that is overweight. His wife can't stand him. And he hasn't been to church in 4 years because he's always trying to work more. And so we all know these 1-dimensional individuals, and every now and then, maybe that's us. And then maybe we see other people that kind of fluctuate between 2 or 3 dimensions, but it's very, very rare to see someone living that 4-dimensional lifestyle. And I don't think it's impossible. And I'm not coming from some pedestal of perfection of that I've mastered every single thing that I'm going to be teaching you peasants and that you better listen up and learn. I don't think I've done or achieved anything that qualifies me to teach this stuff anymore than just being in the trenches with you guys every day, trying to live my best 4-dimensional lifestyle for myself, my family, and my community. And so I'm going to do my best to always keep that sort of humility and transparency here, because we are on this journey together. All right. And for some of you guys, I might be just one step ahead and I'm trying to help you keep up. That's it. So, but I think that free system is very crucial to understand from my standpoint, because I'm going to be teaching in and out of that a lot. And even today is good for you guys to understand that if that's your first time hearing that, because you can use that as like a little self-check analysis. If you're not walking around feeling true freedom in your life, feeling free, you're feeling bondage, you're feeling stuck, you just feel off, maybe you're even feeling depressed, you need to look at this free system. Start with the faith on a scale from 1 to 10. Where's my faith at? Then move to relationships, scale from 1 to 10. Energy, 1 to 10. Economics, 1 to 10. And chances are, if you're low in just like one area, you feel a little bit stuck or you're off. And you can kind of self-assess. If you're like, oh, my energy's a little bit low. Now that gives you a starting point to ask questions. Well, why is it low? Where is it at? I said a 2. Wow. What can I do to get it to a 3? Not necessarily a 10. That's what we all want to do, right? How I go from super duper obese to 6-pack. Nah. Let's don't go from a 1 to a 10. Let's go from 1 to 2. Way easier to do. And then let's leverage that win, go from 2 to 3, 3 to 4. And so use that. And if you're feeling depressed, do this, right? Do that little check. Chances are you are low in multiple areas, and that's okay. Especially once you adopt this identity as a creator, which we're about to get into. But then it's just, all right, let's pick one of those. How do I start leveling it up? Okay. And if you're really feeling like depressed, I think the first place to start is that faith, right? If that's really, really low. Okay. So the free system, the idea of life being a game, the ultimate game, right? So we have an ultimate aim and game to our life that we need to define. And then you'll have mini games or smaller games within that. And I believe we need to approach this as a creator. All right, so that's it. That is the framework, and now we're about to get into identity. And you know what? Before I do that, I want to try to paint that picture of the game for you guys a little bit more, just so you can kind of meditate on that over the rest of the day, or maybe listen to this at night, tonight, have a dream about it. But so many of us are having issues because of the game that we've decided to play, or the fact that we haven't even defined our game. Think about it. Why did you wake up today? You want to ask a question that like stops someone in their tracks. Fellas, you dating a chick? Okay. Y'all talking, getting a little bit closer, or maybe it's the first date. You want to ask her a question to just make her feel like you just the deepest philosophical ninja to ever breathe. She's like, yo, why you wake up? And then just look at someone. Just say, just throw it out there. Yo, so why you wake up today? And then look them in their eyes. Don't even blink. And just watch how they might get uncomfortable a little bit. They're like, oh, snap. And then they might say something completely uninspiring because they haven't thought about it. And it's not their fault. They don't teach us this stuff in school. They more so the last thing they want you to adopt is the identity of a creator. They want you to be a robot. A drone that they can program, right? Because you can't control someone that believes that they're a creator. You can lead them, right? So I'm not saying that as a creator you won't ever submit to authority or partner with someone. No, you 100% will, but you can't just control someone's mind when they believe that they're a creator. And so, but just imagine how almost silly it is to be trying to find purpose, but you haven't even defined your game. Like, you don't even know why you're trying to wake up. And if you don't know why, I think that should be the reason. You're waking up trying to find that purpose. And we're going to start with identity today. But like, if you're waking up and you're like, I wake up to go to work, to pay the bills. Those are some of like the answers you'll get from people. Like, so why'd you wake up? Pay the bills. Because my alarm clock went off. Again, not the worst reasons. I'm glad you got a job. But there's that can't be life, right? Life is just going to work. Let's ask some deeper questions. Well, why do you have the job? So I can make money. Okay, cool. Why do you make money? To pay the bills? Why do you, like, what is the reason that you're like, are you working towards something? Is there any vision in this? You know, are you saving up for something? Are you working? What is the goal? What's the purpose? What's the game you're playing? And so many people are so confused, they're frustrated because they haven't even taken the time to even look in that direction. And so what are you doing? You're stuck in the matrix. Someone else told you this is what the game was. The game was to go to work, clock in, be there when I said. And then that's what you did. And so we giving you the keys to break, to unshackle, to get out of those chains of bondage with this identity as a creator. So let's talk about, again, identity. I'm a little bit over where I'd want to be. I want to be starting our descent of the podcast around this time. But again, we had the foundationalism that I had to lay. But as we get into identity, let's start with the definition. All right. So I Googled the definition and listen to this. The definition of identity is the fact of being who or what a person or thing is. One more time. The definition of identity, the fact of being who or what a person or thing is. So my question to you is, who are you? What are you? How do you define yourself? To give you a crazy analogy, just to paint a picture on how identity is the start to us even talking about the conversation of purpose, is look at a fish. Look at the fact of being who or what a fish is. Okay, just by its identity, we done ruled out a few things for purpose, and we've gotten closer to some other things. And here's the beauty of these animals. They're so much smarter than us. You don't ever see a fish over there being depressed because it's not a bird. Like, you don't see the fish at the just sneaking out of the pond trying to manufacture some wings and working on its flying. Like, it's just chilling, being fishy. And the same with the birds. Like, they just doing what they do in the sky, laughing at us, worrying about how we can be fish and birds. It's weird. Like, as humans, we're so confused. And so, and I'm not saying that your identity is just simply being a human and stay out the air, stay out the out the lake. That's not what I'm saying. But I was just trying to paint that picture of a fish being true to its identity. And so when you look at what your identity is, all right, you want to quote for your vault. You can never consistently outperform your identity. You can't do it. It's impossible. What are some examples of this? Maybe it's you. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's someone you know, someone on Facebook. They had the New Year's resolution. Girl, I'm about to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to do it. And they started to do good. Maybe they went to the gym. It could be 2 months straight. But because they were just worried on working on their body and not their mind, aka their identity, in the back of their mind, they still believe, nah, I'm fat, I'm overweight. They identify with that. Not that, hey, I slipped up, I messed up, I gotta get right again. But they identify with that, with being overweight. You see them find weird ways to self-destruct. And any of my coaches out there, you know this, or the teachers, you see this. Like, you see someone with all the potential in the world, but for whatever reason, they just can't seem to get out of their own way. And when they start to go in a different direction than their identity is programmed, it's the mind. And we understand the science of this, right? If we understand the subconscious mind and its default to survival and wanting to survive, if it's programmed with the identity of overweight and you start to move away from that, it says, no, this ain't how we're supposed to be right now. We got to get back to where I'm comfortable, aka to where I'm safe. And so when we do this identity transplant, we see so many different symptoms go away. And the analogy I would use is like having a cold, right? The cold or the flu, some sort of sickness that has a lot of different symptoms that pop up: sore throat, weakness, headache, nausea, whatever it may be. And you can go out and try to treat all of these symptoms individually, or you get rid of the cold, you get rid of the flu, and all of those symptoms go away. And if you can adopt this identity as a creator, a lot of you guys are trying to fix so many different things. But if you just believed about yourself in a different way, some of the things that are hardest for you would become easiest. And some people are able to do this faster than others. I'm not saying everyone will wake up tomorrow completely different. Some of you guys are going to have to listen to 87 episodes, and over time, we're going to knock that wall down. But other people can do it very, very quickly. And so that's why I think it's important to make this podcast a routine. Try to find the same time every day you're listening to it, whether it's in the morning or at night, whatever, just every day, so we can just be chipping away at that. All right. And so we understand identity a little bit better. Now I'm going to give some more examples, and this will help you out a lot. And I might even touch on your exact example. I don't even have exact ones. I'm going to be winging it, but I may touch on one that hits home for you, or you may be able to see that identity in someone around you, whether it's a parent, a spouse, a relative, whoever, a coworker. So, for example, and I do want to say this as well, there are some good identities that are solid, and they've served you and helped you a lot in your life. But without a doubt, the best and number one identity that you could adopt is that of a creator. Okay, so what are some other examples? Maybe you're a fighter. You've seen people that are like this. They're like, man, life is a fight. And here's what's good about it. Those people don't quit. You knock me down 5, I'm going to get up 6. I'm still swinging. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. They're fighters. And again, this is good, but it has some drawbacks. Some drawbacks that don't come with the identity of a creator. Being a fighter in certain situations is great, especially when you're actually fighting. But what if you're in your relationship? There's often bleed over, and you can turn your relationships into a fight. And I don't necessarily mean that you're physically fighting with your girlfriend or boyfriend, or that you always want to argue or fight with them. It could be that. Or you'll just turn certain things into, you'll make them more difficult than they have to be, because you're not tapping into abundance like you would out of a creator, and you're more in lack and scarce because you're like, man, yeah, we got this problem, but I'm going to just fight through it. And maybe that approach is limiting you when you could say, hey, how can I just create the change that I want to see here? How can I create the love and the intimacy back in my marriage, versus how can I fight through this turmoil that we got? Someone else might have the identity as something similar to that, would be like a warrior, very similar to the fighter. Someone might be, now they're on the opposite end, right? So definitely more of a negative identity would be one of a victim, right? They always look at things through the lens of a victim. Someone did this to me because the government did this. Donald Trump made me like this. And because my dad wasn't there, this is bam. And when you do that, you relinquish all of your control, all of your authority, because it's not your doing. It's what someone else is doing. That's what you identify as. And so when you try to do more than that and try to make something happen, you're always getting in your way, because you're more sensitive to what other people are doing and how it's affecting you. Okay? And these are things we want to be aware of. Someone else might think that maybe life is just fun. They're a partier and everything is happy and whatnot. And you can see some of the challenges that might have when it's not time to party, or it's time to get serious. Some people might think they might have the identity of life being too serious or life being hard. And as you start to get clear on this, you see how that your identity is shaping a lot of what you're creating in your life, both good and bad. All right. So again, what is the best identity we can have? That is that of a creator. So instead of, a situation where you're playing the victim, and I don't like to say that without circling back around, because someone with the victim identity will get really offended and they'll say, no, but you don't know what that person did to me. No, you're right. I don't. But even with what that person did, it could have been, and I've seen people go through some of the most evil things. But what identity you adopt doesn't change it. and I'm not asking you to adopt something that minimizes it, it can be very, very real and very, very damaging. Even more of a reason for us to stop moving from the place of victim to moving to creator and say, all right, despite where I'm at in my life, what can I create with what I do have? Again, that might not be going from 1 to 10 because of the cards that you're dealt. It's going from 1 to 1.5, from 1.5 to 2, to 2 to 2.2. And we just make progress. And it's a paradigm shift, a way of looking at things that radically changes every single situation that you're in. There's not one situation that can happen that a creator mindset can't be applied to try to find some positivity, to find some abundance, to find some way to try to move this forward. Okay, so I want you to take some time. And actually, before I even get into that, let me give you guys some more what to expect. I'm going to be really big on laying down one principle. And we've already done that now. It's the idea of the identity and how important it is to switch from, if you have anything that's not that of a creator, you need to switch to that. And again, these may be really good ones that served you for a season of your life. So I don't you might have been young and someone mistreated you or did something to you that you didn't, and you were in a position where you didn't even have the capacity to make the change, and you definitely didn't have the knowledge to even try to adopt a creator identity, because they don't teach us this in school. They don't want you to be a creator. And so you adopted an identity out of survival. Maybe that's your identity. I'm a survivor. Or maybe you had to fall into victimhood just to cope, just to make it out and keep your sanity or what little bit you have left. And that identity really did serve you through a season of your life. Maybe you did have to fight through something and that was all you knew to do. Maybe someone else showed you it, or that was just your instincts and you fought through and you've been fighting ever since. We can salute and applaud and appreciate whatever identity that you've had that got you through a season. But now let's progress. Right now that we know, let's adopt that identity of a creator. But it's not good enough to just know it. We got to put some feet to it. And this is going to be one of my favorite parts of every episode. You like, what, Mav? Put some feet to it. What type of podcast is this? You got the man running, breathing all hard. What was all of that? Well, here's what I mean by putting feet to it. It's not good enough to just learn this stuff. We got to take action. We got to get it in motion. We got to move forward with it. Take some next steps immediately. That is putting feet to it. And I'm obsessed with that. I don't know that I'm the smartest ninja on. Actually, I do know. I do know that. I know I'm not. And it makes me sad sometimes. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna let my insecurities out episode 1. It would be cool to be the smartest ninja. That's not in my future. I'm not, but I've been blessed to be able to actually create a lot in my life, a lot in my family's life, a lot in my students' life, a lot in my community's life. Why? Because I take action, man. I may not have all of the facts. I may not know everything, but I'm gonna move on what I do know. And so it's very important for me as your host to encourage you to take this last part way more serious than even the first part. And just in case y'all are like, you know what, Negro, I don't believe you, I'm gonna pull up quotes every now and then, because some of y'all hard-headed, y'all ain't gonna believe me, but maybe some of y'all will listen to Bruce Lee. I pulled up a quote from him. Bruce Lee said, knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. And just in case that wasn't good enough, I was like, I'm gonna hit him with a bonus one. Kind of like when you order a 6-piece and they throw like seven nuggets in. Bruce Lee said, this is quote number 2 again, bonus, you're welcome. Bruce Lee said, to hell with circumstances, I create opportunity. Did y'all hear that? Bruce Lee was a creator. Come on now. So often we want to focus on, yeah, but you don't know the hood I live in. You don't know what my mama did to me. You don't know what my ex-boyfriend, he burnt me. He left me dry. You don't know what he did to my heart. But Dion, you don't know what it was like not my pops not being there. Actually, I do, but what I know even more is that it's not the circumstances that dictate your future. And this is one of the good things of the internet. There's a lot of bad things. One of the good things, besides being able to listen to the Creator Podcast, is that we can see these success stories and people that have been able to come from these so many horrible, ugly, evil situations and overcome. Survivors of the Holocaust. We see people making it out the hood and doing good. We see women that were sexually abused when they were younger. We see people coming from poverty, from third world countries, people as immigrants. We see all of these different things. What is your excuse? It's whatever it is, whatever your circumstances are. What opportunities can you create? And again, it may not be from 1 to 10. It may be from 1 to 2, and that's okay, but we're going to flip that. And then when we get really good, instead of going from 2 to 3, we might be able to go from 2 to 4. But it's okay to just take that next step, okay? And just in case y'all was being hard-headed and y'all really didn't want to feel me, or y'all just super duper big, like Bruce Lee fans, I hit y'all with a third one. He was on fire. I didn't even know he had so many fire quotes, but a third one, he says, as you think, so shall you become. Remember, you cannot consistently outperform your identity. How do you think of yourself? Let's put some feet to it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take some sort of notes. You can pull out a journal, a notepad, a notebook, pull out some notes on your phone. Let's take some notes, okay? Mental notes don't count. Come on, let's take consistent action every day. Let's make this difference. I want you to write down in as much clarity as you can how you would identify, or how you identify right now. Okay? How would you define yourself? What is it? And if you can narrow it down to a word or a phrase, that would be huge. And then let's start to expand on that. And let's try to understand, as you take that, use that identity as like a light and shine it on your faith, your relationships, your energy, your economics, and just try to understand, how is that identity helping? And it may be helping in certain areas, like I said, but almost more importantly, where is it hurting you, or where is it holding you back? Okay? And what are some of, and then number 2 are, what are some of the lies or false beliefs that you can change or reverse to get you closer to getting to that creator of that identity of a creator? Very simple. Understand those 2 things, and then put some feet to number 2. Okay, we start with awareness, and then you already, so we get clear on the positioning. Almost think of like a GPS. That's where you are now. The destination is the identity of a creator. That's where you're going. What are some of those turns you need to make in between? What are these next steps that you can start doing? What's the thing you can do today? Maybe you need to let's do another. Actually, I have a next step for you. I'm gonna get to here in a little bit. Maybe you need to subscribe to this podcast. Right? Maybe you need to make sure you're ready to get this next one tomorrow. Whatever it may be. But let's have some actionable steps that you can move forward to. Right? And so maybe you know that you're moving in lack and scarcity in a way. You're like, you know what? I'm just sitting here hoarding and saving all of my money. That's not how a creator looks. A creator never, ever moves from the mindset of scarcity and lack. That doesn't mean they move in foolishness and they don't manage their money correctly. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have an excess and you're just trying to hoard it all, maybe you can start giving to your church. You can start giving to a charity. You can start moving in abundance. Start opening your heart up. Maybe you could stop having a mindset of scarcity and thinking, oh, I'm not going to give money to this homeless man because I know he's just going to, I know a crack rock about to be purchased. I'm not funding no crack rocks. Maybe you can move into more of an abundant mindset and say, you know what? I'm going to still show love, and who knows what this love may do. This seed that I sow, he may go, I might be funding the biggest crack rock to ever hit the streets, but maybe that love and that God bless you I dropped, maybe that planted a seed that I'm gonna continue to water over this next month, and who knows, over this next year, over the next 2-3, who knows what that's going to do. And so stuff like that, what can you do to start moving from lack to abundance and start understanding what it is to move as a creator? What thought patterns can you reverse? So that's what we're going to do. And for those that want a little bit of help, I have something called the Creator Code. So some powerful stuff, man. This is what myself and my creator community, our creator family, this is the code that we live by. And it's very simple and very deep at the same time. At its most simple form, it's 3 words. It's 3 words, but it means everything. It means everything. And it goes so much deeper though as well. And I really feel like when you can understand this, you can move forward and understand the foundational work to living that lifestyle of a creator. And like I said, that is our code. Almost think of a game and how it's coded, right? You can't do anything in the game that's not been coded. And so when you have this creator code living and breathing in your life, a lot of those next steps for you become abundantly clear. And so for a lot of you guys, that might be the next step for you. And to get that, it's 100% free. You know what? It's so free. I put it in the URL. If you go to freecreatorcode.com, I think I got to spell some of that because some of y'all out used to be stressed when you bring your English grades home. It's free, Free, creator, CREATOR, code, CODE.com, freecreatorcode.com. All I'm gonna ask is for your email. I'm cheap. For you, at least in this sense it is, because it's free. All I need is your email, and then you'll get access. It's just a video where I'm gonna walk you through that creator code in a little bit more detail. And I think it's really going to bless your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode, man, of the Creator Podcast. Let me remind you guys. Let me bring the feedback, because that's what y'all doing, man, after every episode. And this one was way too long. I'm trying to do this in half. I know some of y'all ain't got nothing to do. You like, give me a 2-hour pod. No, not not if we doing this every day. You done lost your dang mind. I gotta be a dad. I gotta be a husband. I gotta be a boss. I got a lot of things I gotta be, man. I can't be Mr. 4-hour podcast every day. But I hope this does bless you guys. And if it did, do me a huge favor, man. It's an inconvenience. Let's be real. Don't none of y'all want to do this. Even you guys that have been rocking with me for dang near 10 years. But leave your boy a review if you enjoyed it. If you hate it, keep it to your dang self. Don't know when I'm playing. No, I enjoy that. Leave me a rating, man. If this is your favorite podcast already, let me know with a comment on whatever podcasting app that you're listening on. And it really does help me grow. And the beauty is you only got to do it once. I ain't gonna bug you. And so you could have me shut up now, or I'm gonna remind you tomorrow. The choice is yours. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for rocking with your boy. Y'all are awesome. And until next time, God first, God bless.